The internet is on fire right now. Fans are in complete shock after a leaked FBI document hit the streets and what's inside. Let's just say, the name that came up was the last person anybody expected. Whispers of betrayal. Setups and secret beef are swirling out of control. And now, fans are asking the unthinkable. Did Lil Durk really have something to do with King Von's death? We're talking about one of the tightest bonds in modern rap, brothers in arms. OTF for life, or so we thought. But according to a shocking tip, allegedly from inside the FBI, there's a whole backstory that's never been told. And if these claims are true, it could be the biggest betrayal in Chicago rap history. From unseen surveillance tapes, to encrypted texts, to a mysterious phone call made just minutes before Von was shot, it's all starting to unravel. Is this just another conspiracy theory? Or the truth the streets were never supposed to hear? Buckle up, because what we're about to tell you will leave your jaw on the floor. Let's get into it. The streets are buzzing, timelines are crashing, and DMs are flooding with one question: did Lil Durk really play a role in King Von's death? Or is this all a twisted setup rooted in betrayal, jealousy, and secrets the industry was never supposed to know? According to a leaked FBI report that just hit the internet like a grenade, the real story behind King Von's murder may be way darker than anyone ever imagined. And the name that keeps popping up is none other than his own Day One Lil Durk. But before we even get into that, let's rewind the clock a little. Back in 2020, when King Von was rising fast, people couldn't help but notice the chemistry between him and Durk. Same gang, same energy, same hunger. They moved like brothers. But behind the scenes, it wasn't all smiles and loyalty. There were whispers that Von was starting to feel boxed in, that he wanted to be his own boss. Some say Durk felt threatened, like Von's growing fame was starting to cast a shadow over him. It was never said out loud, but the tension was real. And now, years later, this alleged FBI leak is dragging that silent war into the spotlight. The report, which allegedly leaked from a sealed document during a classified investigation, mentions a high-profile Chicago rapper who had both motive and means to orchestrate Von's fatal night in Atlanta. And while names are redacted, fans online have already connected the dots. One TikTok user even broke down Timeline's phone records. And IG lives that placed certain people in strange places on the night Von was killed. Coincidences? Or a blueprint? Here's where it gets messy. 2 weeks before Von's death, sources close to Oblak say he had a heated argument with Durk over money. Allegedly, Von confronted him about missing funds, royalties from their joint track Crazy Story Part 3 Inches that never added up. "You playing with my name," Von reportedly said, slamming the studio door. Nobody thought much of it at the time, rappers argue. Brothers fall out. But now, looking back with this new leak, it's hitting different. And then there's the Atlanta situation. Von wasn't even supposed to be there that night. His team had advised him to stay low, chill, focus on the album. But a last-minute call from someone he trusted changed everything. He told me he had to pull up for loyalty. A close friend who was with him that night told the blogs. But loyalty to who? And why did it cost him his life? It gets deeper. Von's sister, Kayla B., has been throwing cryptic subs ever since the report hit. Fans noticed she unfollowed Durk days before the leak dropped. Coincidence? Or was she warned something was coming? And it's not just her. Members of Von's inner circle, quiet for years, are suddenly tweeting things like "truth always comes out" and "karma don't miss." What are they trying to say? One of the wildest moments came from a now-deleted Clubhouse audio that surfaced just hours after the leak. In it, a voice that sounds eerily like someone from the Odd F camp says, they think it was Quando. Nah, it was way deeper than that. The room went silent. People left the chat. Within minutes, the audio disappeared. But screen recordings don't lie. Fans saved it, reposted it, and turned it into a viral storm. IG Lives are turning into courtrooms. Fans are breaking down old videos, interviews, even lyrics. One bar from Durk's track Backdoor is going viral again. "I told Von leave, that be alone." She posts on OnlyFans. At the time, people thought it was shade to a girl. Now, some think it was code. And what's crazier, Von tweeted about that same lyric just days before he passed. With a simple, "Funny how y'all move." Emotions ran high when a former Oblock affiliate went live and claimed Von had plans to leave the gang life behind completely. He wanted to move different, the affiliate said. He was talking about buying land, taking care of his people, and being his own label. Some folks ain't like that. Again, no names were dropped, but the message was clear. Von was leveling up, and not everybody was clapping. Meanwhile, fans are spiraling. Comment sections are war zones. "Durk would never do that to Von," one person writes. But others aren't convinced. "Look at the signs," another user argues. Von was outgrowing him, and then he ends up dead. Come on, hashtags like hashtag Von New and hashtag Free Von Truth are trending, with some fans even demanding Durk make a public statement. So far, silence. But behind the silence, insiders say Durk's camp is panicking. Lawyers have allegedly issued cease and desist to certain gossip pages trying to stop the leak from spreading. But it's too late. Once the internet has the scent of scandal, it don't let go. And now, with rumors that Von kept a private journal, one that might contain details about who he is. Ari's eyes about who he is. Didn't trust things are getting darker. Sources claim that journal is in the hands of a family member, and they're deciding whether to release it. If they do, it could blow the whole case wide open. And let's talk about the night of the shooting itself. Reports said Von walked straight up to Quando Rondo and started swinging. No hesitation, no fear. But why was he so ready to risk it all like that? Some fans believe he was already paranoid, already convinced people close to him had flipped. He was tired of the snakes, someone tweeted. And maybe, just maybe, Quando was just the trigger, not the mastermind. This theory gained traction when a supposed former Atlanta police informant, going by the alias RJ, came forward claiming he saw an unknown third-party meeting with Quando's team hours before the shooting. It wasn't just street beef, he said. There was money behind that hit. Someone wanted Von gone for good. Of course, nobody's verified this claim. But in this drama, facts and fiction are blending fast, and fans don't care. They just want the truth, no matter how messy it is. People close to Durk have gone ghost on socials. His usual entourage, silent. No stories, no reposts, no tweets. Even his label's official page didn't mention his name once since the leak dropped, unusual for someone of his status. Industry folks are whispering that Durk's team is scrambling to do damage control, reaching out to platforms to bury the story. But as one insider put it, you can't bury a ghost, especially when it's screaming for justice. And that's what fans are calling it now. Justice for Von. They're saying this ain't just rap drama anymore. This is about a man who is rising fast, only to be cut down by people who claim to love him. And if the leak is real, then the betrayal runs deep. But this is only the beginning, because what's about to be revealed next will shake not just Chicago, but the entire rap game. And the next chapter. It starts with a wiretap, a voice, and a name nobody expected to hear. ... It starts with a wiretap, a voice, and a name nobody expected to hear. And a name nobody expected to hear. In an unreleased surveillance audio allegedly obtained by federal investigators during a separate Atlanta gang case, a familiar voice comes through the static. Low, muffled, but distinct. Street fans who've studied Durk's interviews swear it sounds just like him. And in the clip, which has only been described by insiders, not yet leaked publicly, the voice says, "He moving reckless. ... Might have to handle that before it's too late." Chilling words. Vague, but in the context of Von's death. It's got fans spinning wild theories. One Reddit user posted a full breakdown, comparing past audio of Durk to the leaked clip using waveform analysis. They claim there's an 87% voice match. Of course, this ain't court evidence, but in the court of public opinion, it's enough. One viral comment read, "If that's really him, it's over." But here's where things flip again. A mysterious EG account, now deleted, posted a series of DMs allegedly between Von and another Chicago rapper just 3 days before he died. In those messages, Von talks about feeling watched, saying, "I don't even know who real anymore, bro. Everybody acting funny." That same convo includes a name. "Durk ain't acting the same since we hit that bag. Feel like he distancing himself." Then boom, the messages disappeared. The account gone. Just like that. Too fast to be random. Too suspicious to ignore. The plot gets thicker when a known Atlanta promoter steps forward on a live podcast, claiming that Von's location was leaked before he even arrived at the club. He was supposed to hit another spot that night, the promoter says. But last minute, plans changed. Somebody from his own circle rerouted him when asked if he thought it was a setup. He pauses, then says, "Ain't no way you change location and the ops just happen to be there waiting. That ain't coincidence. That's a contract." Boom. Jaws dropped. Social media exploded. Hashtag #VonStup started trending on X within hours. Fans flooded old videos of Durk, leaving snake emojis and broken heart gifs. One person commented, "This worse than Empire. How your own brother gets you lined like that?" The energy online shifted. The tone went from confusion to accusation. Fans weren't just asking questions anymore. They were pointing fingers. Even rap blogs that usually stay neutral started posting shady captions. One popular page reposted a photo of Durk and Von with the caption, "Loyalty or liability." The comments? Over 30,000 in an hour. And Durk still hadn't said a word. Not a tweet. Not alive. Just ... silence. That silence became its own scandal. And then came the twist no one saw coming. A former Atlanta PD detective, now retired and speaking anonymously, revealed in a YouTube interview that the feds had been monitoring communications between various OTFE affiliates weeks before Von's murder. There were a lot of texts, encrypted messages, burner phones, he says. Something was being planned. He just didn't know what. The detective also mentioned a particular call between an OTF member and a known Atlanta gang figure, where Von's name came up. They were talking about pressure, he said. Applying pressure, making a move. The whole thing sounds like movie dialogue, but if true, it suggests Von was being hunted long before that night outside Monaco Hookah Lounge. And what about Quando Rondo? While the world's been focused on him and Latim as the ones who pulled the trigger, a new wave of fans are asking, were they just the decoys? The fall guys? In a resurfaced interview from 2021, Quando talks about feeling set up too, saying, "I didn't even know he was gone. Be there, real talk." Most people laughed it off back then. But now, with all this new info, it hits different. What if Quando wasn't the mastermind, but a pawn in someone else's plan? And then there's Durk's change in demeanor. Ever since Von's death, fans noticed how cold he got in his music. Tracks like Aha and Computer Murderers sound more aggressive, more defensive. Some fans say that's grief. Others? They say it sounds like guilt. One viral thread read, "Ever since Von died, Durk ain't been right. It's like he hiding something." Kayla B. Von's sister went live again, and this time, she didn't hold back. She didn't say Durk's name directly. But she said, "Everybody who was smiling in my brother's face and doing foul stuff behind his back. God watching. I know what y'all did." She wiped tears mid-live, then ended it abruptly. The comments section was a war zone. Half the fans told her to drop names, the other half begged her to stay safe. They took Vaughn, "Don't let M silence you too." One comment said, "And let's not forget the jewelry." Weeks after Vaughn passed, Durk was seen wearing a chain with Vaughn's face on it, a supposed tribute. But now, some fans see it differently. How you wear the face of the man you might have lined up. One user posted. That post got over 50K likes before it was deleted. The tension reached a boiling point when Lil Reese, another Chicago native, posted a cryptic message. "I told him watch who he call bro." He didn't say who the him was. But fans were quick to connect it back to Vaughn. Did Vaughn get warned about Durk? Did he ignore the signs? And just when you think it couldn't get worse, another name enters the mix, Mewup. Once seen as Vaughn's right-hand man, Mewup has been silent since his own legal troubles. But word on the street is that he's been questioned again in connection to the ongoing federal probe. Fans are speculating he might, said something, or might be pressured to talk soon. If that happens, it could blow the whole lid off the story. But the real bombshell? An alleged informant from inside Atlanta's court system leaked that prosecutors are looking into potential RICO expansions, not just for Audi Ave, but for all affiliated crews. And Vaughn's death is reportedly being re-examined, not just as a shooting, but a targeted hit with internal connections. That's where things really go off the rails. Because if this turns into a full-blown federal RICO case with Vaughn's name at the center, then everyone who's been silent might be forced to talk. And still, Durk remains ghost. Fans are split. Some still defend him with passion. That's his brother. He would never, they argue. But others, they're done. One fan posted, "Vaughn gone. And everything don't add up. Too many lies. Too many snakes." Others demand justice, not just for the murder, but for the betrayal they believe went deeper than bullets. And just as the story seems to settle into chaos, something new happens. An anonymous email is sent to multiple gossip outlets with the subject line, "Attach." A zip file with screenshots, messages, and a location pin. But what's in that folder might change. Everything. Because it doesn't just point at OTF. It points at someone even closer. Someone fans never suspected. Someone who was with Vaughn. That very night. Because it doesn't just point at OTF. It points at someone even closer. Someone fans never suspected. Someone who was with Vaughn. That very night. That's right. The anonymous folder that hit inboxes of major gossip pages didn't just name rappers or affiliates. It named someone from Vaughn's personal security team. A man who had been by his side for over a year. Someone fans recognized from countless backstage videos, behind-the-scenes photos, and even Instagram lives. Always quiet, always in the background, but always there. And now, Sman, who we'll call Jay for now, is at the center of a digital firestorm. The screenshots allegedly show Jay messaging someone hours before Vaughn's death, asking, he pulling up solo or crew? The reply reads, just him and two. Then Jay replies with a pin location, the very same location where the fatal shooting occurred. Fans were stunned. Some screamed set up immediately. How the hell his own security dropping his location? One post read, gaining 1K shares in under 48 hours. But that ain't even the worst part. Another message, timestamped, just 40 minutes before the incident, shows Jay allegedly saying, it's handled. Payment after. The blogs ate it up. People started reposting side-by-side photos of Jay walking beside Vaughn in past footage with captions like, look. At the snake in the grass, fan theories exploded. Conspiracy threads hit new levels. Was Jay a paid informant? A double agent? Or just someone who got too deep in a game he didn't understand? And what really got people messed up? Is that Jay vanished, his Instagram deleted, number disconnected, nobody can reach him, no interviews, no statements, like he disappeared off the face of the earth? Some people think he's hiding. Others think someone made sure he stayed silent. But either way, the internet got receipts. And they're putting the pieces together. Von's cousin jumped on live after the leak dropped and said, "Ain't no way my cousin go out like that unless somebody let it happen." He didn't name names, but fans knew who he was talking about. He even mentioned how Von started moving different the month before he died. He wasn't trusting nobody, the cousin said. Wasn't even telling people where he was staying. And let's not forget the label tension. Word on the street is, Von was planning to start his own imprint without Durk. Allegedly. Paperwork was already in motion. Distribution talks, meetings, and even a brand name trademarked just a week before his death. That brand name. It hasn't been revealed yet. But the leak says it was a name Von had tattooed across his arm. And guess what? Fans are now zooming into old photos trying to figure out what it says. The betrayal is layered. Fans feel it. Like this ain't just about street beef anymore. It's about legacy. About trust. About how fame turns brothers into enemies. One fan tweeted, "Von tried to build an empire. ... They tried to bury him before it got off the ground." And others are starting to believe that this whole thing, from the beef with Quando to the argument with Durk, was just surface level. A distraction from the real plot. More and more people are looking at Ati's sideways. A viral TikTok with over 3 million views breaks down how. In the months after Von's death, multiple ATF artists dropped music that seemed eerily reflective of the situation. One line from a lesser-known artist said, "We handle things quiet, no mess on the scene. But some blood gotta spill if you gone leave the team." That bar didn't raise eyebrows back then. But now, fans are calling it a confession. And still, Durk says nothing. He posts photos from the studio, smiling, flashing jewelry, hanging with L-listers. But every time he goes live, the comments are flooded. What happened to Von? Did you line him up? Speak on it. One Live even had over 100K viewers just waiting for him to say something. He never did. But what really sent the internet into full-blown chaos was Quando Rondo's sudden post. Out of nowhere, he wrote, "They tried to throw me under the bus for something they planned. That's it. No context. No explanation. But enough to get people talking." Was he talking about the shooting? Was he saying it wasn't his beef to begin with? Some think it was his way of washing his hands of it all. Others think he's scared and knows the truth is catching up to everyone. Then came a phone call, an audio leak, supposedly from jail, between an unnamed affiliate and an incarcerated gang member. In the clip, the voice says, "Von ain't just die, bro. They sacrificed him." Dude was about to change the game, and they knew it. It was jealousy, plain and simple. Those words hit hard. Jealousy, sacrifice. These ain't words fans use lightly. But now, it's all starting to feel like a puzzle, with pieces finally clicking. One comment read, "Von had loyalty. Durk had business." And sometimes, business don't care about loyalty. Kayla B returned to Twitter with one haunting tweet. "I wish he knew what I know now." And that's when fans truly broke. Thousands of retweets. Thousands of replies. People begging her to speak up, to name names, to go public. She hasn't yet. But many believe it's only a matter of time. As for Jay, the alleged security guard turned ghost, there's now a rumor that he's trying to cut a deal. Someone posted a screenshot of a supposed email sent to an attorney known for working federal witness cases. It's unconfirmed, but the timing is wild. Could Jay be planning to talk? If he does, and he flips on the right names, the entire industry could get shook. And here's another twist. Allegedly, Vaughn had been secretly recording some of his private conversations. Paranoia. Some say protection, others say. But word is, there are voice memos still saved to his cloud account. And if the family grants access, those recordings could reveal who he was really worried about, who he didn't trust, and who he believed might want him gone. Sources close to his family are saying that decisions coming soon. And depending on what's in those files, it might be the final nail. Fans are torn between heartbreak and rage. One comment read, "I love Durk and Vaughn together. Now I can't even listen to their songs without thinking about all this." Another user wrote, "This some Game of Thrones level betrayal. Only difference is, this was real life. And the craziest part, we still don't know the full story, because while all eyes are on Durk, on Jay, and on QUANDO, there's still one more name that hasn't entered the conversation yet. A name that insiders say was on the payment logs. A name Vaughn once called family. And that name? You won't believe who it is. A name that insiders say was on the payment logs. A name Vaughn once called family. And that name? You won't believe who it is. Balo, not a rapper, not an artist, not a label exec, but someone from Vaughn's childhood, a childhood friend turned manager-type figure who used to handle his bookings, fly-out schedules, and sometimes even his money. He's been in the background for years. Fans never paid him much attention. But according to a leaked Cash App transaction and an internal record from a travel agency that surfaced online, Balo booked a hotel room in Atlanta 2 days before Vaughn's death under a fake stick, named the same hotel where Jay, the security guard, was later seen entering just hours before the shooting. That alone raised eyebrows. But then came the real kicker. An alleged email log from a burner Gmail account showed a wire transfer of $15,000 to a shell company registered under Balo's cousin's name, on the same day Vaughn died. The subject line of the transfer: consulting fee. Fans didn't buy it for a second. They started digging. And what they found made the situation 10 times worse. In old IG photos, Balo is seen in group shots with both OTF and Quando's crew long before the beef. Was he playing both sides? Was he working behind the scenes, passing info from one camp to another? Fans think so. One TikTok with over 9 million views lays it all out. Vaughn's circle was compromised. Not just the ops, his own people sold him out. Emotions ran high. The betrayal felt personal. Fans couldn't believe that someone so close, someone who was literally eating with Vaughn, might have helped set him up. They say keep your enemies close. But this is a different kind of evil. One post read, "But there's more." An anonymous source claiming to be part of Vaughn's extended family messaged a blog with this: he knew someone was feeding info. He just didn't know who. That last week, he barely slept. He told one of us, "They want me dead before I go solo." Fans instantly connected that quote with the rumors that Vaughn was planning to go independent, break from the ATH machine, and take his entire crew with him. Some insiders say that move would have cost certain people millions, including Durk.N. Suddenly, everything made sense. A wave of fan theories came crashing back. Old lyrics, suspicious silences, missing surveillance footage, all of it reanalyzed. People believe Vaughn was trying to leave the game, and they couldn't let him. "It's not about rap beef," a fan tweeted. "It's about power." Vaughn was a king, and some kings get killed by their own council. Even the label behavior started looking shady. Fans noticed that right after Vaughn's death, Certain tracks were pushed hard, as if they were trying to capitalize off the buzz. Unreleased music dropped faster than ever. Features, merch, and streams went through the roof. They turned his death into a rollout, one user posted, and the whole industry just played along. And just when the dust seemed ready to settle, another bomb dropped, a new leak. This time, it wasn't messages or transactions or emails. It was a video, a private video, never meant for public eyes. Allegedly recorded from inside a hotel suite in Atlanta the night before Von died. In the video, Von is seen pacing, frustrated, venting to someone behind the camera. His voice is low but clear. "I feel like everybody turning on me," he says. "Even folks I put on. If anything happened to me, tell the world I wasn't no dummy." I knew that clip, less than 30 seconds, spread like wildfire. It gave fans chills. He knew. He saw it coming, and nobody stopped it. Kayla B reposted the clip with the caption, "He knew, and they still did him dirty." The outrage reignited. Hashtag Justice Forvin started trending again. Fans flooded ETF's pages with snake emojis. Some demanded Durk be investigated. Others begged Von's family to speak out. "Don't let this slide. Don't let him become another case the system forgets," one fan wrote. And behind the scenes, the pressure is building. Sources close to the investigation say the feds have reopened parts of the original case. Not just because of the new leaks, but because a potential witness has come forward. Someone close to Jay. Someone who allegedly saw the money change hands. Someone who might be ready to flip. And now, the fear is setting in. Because if one person flips, the dominoes fall fast. The dominoes fall fast. Industry insiders are saying Durk's camp is in full lockdown mode. PR teams working overtime. Legal teams circling the wagons. Insiders say brand deals are quietly being paused. A major collab that was supposed to drop this week pulled, and no explanation given. Some fans are worried this might turn into another media circus. Others think the truth is too big to bury now. There's no going back. One blog posted, "Too many people know. Too many receipts, and the streets are watching." The last chilling detail came from someone who claims to have been in the hospital when Von passed. According to them, Von's last words were quiet. He didn't say who did it. He didn't name names. But he looked at one person in the room and said, "Watch who you trust." And now, those words hit different. Because this wasn't just about rap. This was about betrayal at the highest level, a man loved by the streets. Gunned down in the streets, and now mourned by the streets. While his own people might have been the ones who lined him up. And even after all the leaks, the evidence, the messages, and the videos, Durk still hasn't said a word, and maybe he never will. This whole situation has the internet shook to its core. From leaked wiretaps to encrypted messages. From betrayal inside the circle. Two names fans never imagined being tied to King Von's murder. This ain't just rap gossip anymore. This is street-level heartbreak mixed with Hollywood-level plotting. And at the center of it all, a man who just wanted to win with his people. But instead, the very people he called family might have been the ones who took him out. Von's death wasn't just a loss to hip-hop. It was a loss to the culture, to the youth, to everyone who saw him as a symbol of coming from the trenches and making it big. And now, years later, we're only starting to see the ugly truth peel back. Layer by layer, the feds allegedly investigating. Von's family dropping cryptic clues. Fans turning into detectives. And Lil Durk, still silent. Some say that silence speaks louder than any diss track ever could. But here's the question everyone's asking now. Will the truth ever really come out? Or will the industry bury it deep like so many other stories that never made it to court? And more importantly, if the people closest to Von really set him up, How many other rappers are surrounded by snakes right now? Because if this could happen to Vaughn, it could happen to anybody. But now we want to hear from you. Do you think this was a setup from the inside? Was Vaughn getting too big, too powerful, too independent, and the people around him couldn't take it? Or is all this just internet gossip gone too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're reading everything. Smash that like button if you're still watching, because this story ain't over. Hit subscribe and turn on those notifications, because we've got even more wild updates coming your way, including the next chapter in this insane rap saga that might just take down some of the biggest names in the game. Stay safe out there. Trust nobody.